Welcome to the third episode of ML Backstage. My name is Mars Luna.
And I'm Ethan.
And we're introducing this podcast straight from the sixth dimension. This is a music commentary podcast hosted by my favorite Earthlings, Holokahiki Toves, Kainalu Kamai, and Josh Luna too, I guess. Wait, we have a special guest? We have Scott Yago? Wow! Why didn't Joshua tell me?
I mean, you told me Scott was going to be there. I don't know how you missed that crucial piece of information.
Whatever, that's on you. Anyway, they're going over the backstory of my first album, Lost in Space, and it's about to be one hell of a recap, don't you think, Ethan?
Well, now that Scott's in the mix, it should be a fun one.
Indeed. Earthlings, grab your popcorn and let's get started. Back to planet Earth we go!
Hello. What's good? Welcome to the third episode of ML Backstage. My name is Joshua Luna, and alongside me, I got fellow co-host Holokahiki Toves and Kainalu Kamai, and we have a very special thing going on today, and I'll get to that in a bit. But Holo and Kainalu, how's it been since the last episode? Feels like it's been a while.
Yeah, not bad. It's been a great time. It's back to work for me, doing my own thing, the usual busy me.
How's the waves? How's Bay?
Firing, pumping, trying to not get run over by tourists.
And then head back to the store after. Definitely not a homebody. Holo, about you?
Everything's pretty good. I just got my dose of the vaccine. That was pretty good. I know the second one actually kicked me pretty hard to the curb, but I'm still alive.
Right. Yeah, it's probably just only minor light sting. And for me, I'll actually go last because I actually want to introduce our very special guest for this episode, Scott Yago.
Oh, what's up? What's up, boys? It's been 6 years, 7 years?
It's been 6 years, bro.
6 years.
Glad to have you on. So,
thanks for having me.
So just want to ask you, how do you know me? How do you know us? Because we've known each other for a pretty long time, even though you said just now we haven't seen each other in 6 years, up until last week, Thursday. So.
Oh, yeah, dude. We knew each other. Let's just say this. All you Mililani people, G building. That's all you gotta say, right?
Yep.
So I think was it my sophomore year when I first came to the school? I met Kainalu and then Holo. I think I met Holo, and then I met you during my junior year, Josh. And then from junior year on, we did Acoustic Sunrise together. We did music together. We did a whole bunch of stuff together, and all four of us, stayed tight. And even until after, even though with distance and everything, it still feels like the same. And that's what I trip out about. And I was talking to some other Mililani people about it, and it really does feel the same. Nothing changes after a amount of time. Everybody still can catch up no matter how different our lives are. Yeah. And that's what I'm super stoked about that, because it really does feel like nothing's changed.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that's a beautiful thing about being in Hawaii too, where it's there's a very tight knit sense of community. Yeah. Whereas in Las Vegas, and I think this is more of a mainland thing in general, but everything moves a lot faster, and people come in and out of your lives quicker. Whereas when I go back home, I have the sense of comfort that I got the homies that I can trust, you know what I mean? And it's I got family, I got the uncles, I got the aunties, I got family, you know what I mean? And that's the cool part about being in Hawaii. So yeah, that's the gist of, speaking of Acoustic Sunrise, I could easily plug in. And this is not a plug. There's a bunch of old videos that Scott, Kainalu, and I did back in high school.
God.
And I still watch some of them from time to time. I'm not gonna lie. So if you want to look up youtube.com/the Acoustic Sunrise to see us play in after school and stuff, just jamming out. So.
Mind the video quality, right? It's high school video quality and high school sounding stuff.
This is a flip cam. This is flip cam action, yo. So yeah, that quality was it was a different time for sure. But yeah, all y'all on this panel have heard Mars Luna's latest single. The Villain 2 came out. What do y'all think about it? Like, just in very short review, like what do y'all think about it? I'll give mine, but I'll give mine, but I'll do mine last. I want to hear from you. I want to hear from you guys first.
Kainalu first.
What happened?
Kainalu go first, because everyone's about to talk at the same time.
I guess I'll go first. Anyway, I'll just go first because I'll keep it short. This is probably one of my favorite Mars Luna songs I've ever made. I wrote this song during a different time of my life. This is probably the first Mars Luna song that actually has like the F word in there. But it wasn't like, oh, I wasn't going to do that to sound cool, but it was just more like, it flowed within the song. So it was just like, I had to kind of tell certain people about it. I was like, I'm not trying to be cool by swearing in there, you know? It was just, you know, creatively kind of just led that way. So I'm just glad that's out. I've been waiting for that song to come out for 1.5 years now. That's like a sign that Mars Luna's back on track now. And I know y'all got to hear it early, but Holo said that song reminded him of the Haunted Plantation. That cracked me up.
I think it was in the beginning part. The beginning?
Yeah.
The intro, yeah.
Yeah. I was cracking up. I was like, that's pretty accurate.
Yeah, man.
And
you know, Josh, like when I first heard it, I was surprised that she swore. I was like, but what I really liked the most about the song was the absolute rawness that you brought this time around.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and don't get me wrong, like your music is always raw.
Yeah.
And that's the thing I love about your music. It's raw, pure emotion in the moment. And so like when I listened to The Villain, I was like, oh, I can relate to this, you know, like,
right.
And it's after hearing your backstory about it, which you're gonna give later, right? And during the song breakdown, I was like, oh, even more so. Yeah. I can totally, like, I feel it on a different level. Musicality wise, bro, always, come on, you good. We all know it, you good. It's good. And you killed it, man.
I appreciate it. And Scott can play the piano too, so it's not.
Nah, I can't play.
Kainalu, what about you, bro?
I like that song. It's a different approach to
Frozen Uncle. Again, Frozen Uncle.
Easter writing. It's like you took a dark turn. I was like, oh, I like this. This is good.
Yeah.
You gotta see more of the evil side now.
This is straight villainry, bro.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah. So that's the Villain 2. You can check that out on Spotify and Apple Music and whatever platform you use to listen to music. You can find that there. So song breakdowns for the first Mars Luna album, Lost in Space. So this album is going to be split into 2 episodes. So I'm going to break down, this episode is going to talk about the love portion and the life portion. And in this episode, we're going to talk about the love portion. So first song, we just mentioned The Villain 2. The Villain 2 is a song it's basically about cheating, regretting what you did, and then hoping that it's not too late for you to get back with the said person. But we'll start with the predecessor, The Villain 1. The Villain 1 is basically kind of like, it's an inversion of the song that I just put out. The Villain is basically an IDGAF song about like, oh, this is how you view me? Fine then, you can leave. You know what I'm saying? It's like the climax before leading up to the actual breakup. That's what The Villain 1 is about. Didn't Know is a song about, it's loosely based off of a real life situation where a girl that I knew back in high school was told me like several years after we graduated that she liked me and had a crush on me, and I just didn't know how to react. I didn't know you felt that way, but you know, I kindly rejected her advances, and that's how that song came about. Good Girl is a song, it's kind of like talking about a perspective on like, oh, like this girl is not the girl that I thought she was, you know, after you start to get to know her and stuff. But then you realize that you're not really that all great either, you know, so it kind of flips on its head a little bit. Selfish is a recall from the Prelude EP, and How Can I Live Without You is a recall from the Genesis EP. So you can go back to those prior episodes if you want to hear recaps on those songs. Those songs were just basically redone to fit Lost in Space. As far as like the studio sessions went with Lost in Space, if I could go back to any time in this musical odyssey that I've been on, this is the time frame I want to go back to. this process was so much fun. Coming from like an acoustic background and realizing that the songs that I wrote with just my guitar, with just my piano, could develop into a full sound, like that was all new to me. And that was like really cool. Morgan and I kind of just played around with different sounds, and we were kind of just like flowing through the whole thing. And yeah, like it was a transition, but I realized like Morgan's genius during this particular season. And this album will always be, I don't know about always, but like having your first big anything will always be something special. I remember the photo shoot that we took for Lost in Space. It wasn't even really planned. I was just hanging out with Holo and Kainalu. We were kind of just messing around at like this this barren field in the North Shore. We were messing around with different colors of smoke bombs. And Holo, we did this on your birthday. Go ahead.
But yeah, from what I remember purchasing the smoke bombs, I think off Amazon. Mm-hmm. And you know, I think I was gonna do it for like, you know, a photo shoot. Maybe I think it was for like Mars Luna stuff. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden, you know, everything started falling into place. We was in Haleiwa, and then that's when Alex and Whitney came with us. And then I was like, shoot, might as well just, you know, bang it out with all the smoke bombs and just go through with it. Because, you know, we was there, and what a better time than, you know, photographers, videographers all in one spot. Yep. We started lighting it up, and then before you know it, we have all these empty smoke bombs that we gotta throw away.
Right. It was a lot. And I remember like before Scott was included into the group chat, I remember messing around with some of the footage from Kainalu's footage and using it to kind of mess around with him. And I think he's actually frozen.
No, he's good. He's good.
He's good. Okay.
He's good. He's just stone, not moving.
Yeah, I forgot to mention this earlier, but that time when we did the photo shoot for Lost in Space, it wasn't planned to be a photo shoot for Lost in Space. It kind of just naturally came to be that way. When I got the photos and like knowing the environment of where we were, I was like, it was meant to be. I ain't gonna go to like some photo booth or you know, or whatever to get that done. I already had it, you know. So I was like, I remember just keeping those photos in the back burner for years, because we did that in 2016. And then once I finally was able to unleash it, I was like, I brought out everything. So that whole time frame was so much fun. It was one of those times where I was like, man, I wish I could go back. It was just, you know, no worries, you know what I mean? You didn't have to worry about growing up or nothing yet. On a random note, shout out to Holo for wearing the Lost in Space t-shirt.
Yo, man, I can't wait to get mine, dude.
It's like I love the colorway on it. It came out fantastic. I love the red and the gold and everything, and you'll be able to see it on the YouTube video when it comes out. And if you want one and you watch the video, just let me know. Shameless plug there. But I want to transition a few years from 2016 to about 2018 when we shot the Good Girl music video. And I remember seeing an Instagram story of Kainalu posting some brochures or something from Hilton. He was asking like, how am I going to use these 3 nights at Hilton? And I remember DMing him saying like, why don't we just use that for the video? And he was like, oh yeah, that sounds like a great idea. So Kainalu, I want to explain to the people how you ended up getting those free nights real quick.
Okay, so the way how I got that free 3-night stay was to a photography meetup for Hawaii Camera, which was a camera rental place back then. And I posted a photo of the fireworks show on Friday. So we had like a challenge that everybody would go take photos of the fireworks, and they'd pick from whoever went on that meetup to win the prize. And then I ended up winning it with a photo I took.
And there we go.
That's it.
And that was it. And when did you enter that contest?
I believe it took place maybe a month before we did the shoot, or a little bit more before, because I had it for a while.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I knew you had those for a minute, but you didn't know what you was going to do with it. And I think that was like the first time when we stayed in those hotel rooms, like it was a beautiful view of like, you know, like Diamond Head in the background, and like the view could not have been better. We only had like one bed, I think, right? In that hotel room.
Like that.
It was like one bed, and Nalu and I shared that one room. And you know, you had the room, Nalu, but you decided to sleep on the floor. And I was like, nah, bro, you can sleep on the bed. Like this is your room. Nah, I'm used to this in the military.
That's what I was about to say. I was like, no, the bed's probably too soft for him, bro.
Right, for real. So yeah, I felt bad for, you know, you sleeping on the floor, but knowing you, Kainalu, was like, oh,
yeah, it's all good.
It's all good. You're super low maintenance like that.
Yo, this Hawaiian, if people watching this, if y'all don't know Kainalu is the most freaking survival dude you'll ever meet. He's like the Bear Grylls of like Hawaii.
Yeah.
This guy will crash on Waimea Rock, guarantee, on top towers, and just lie down across the rocks and just like ride this guy. So I can kind of see him when he said, Josh, like, oh, when you brought up the room thing, I was like, oh, Kainalu probably slept on the floor, and you probably slept on the bed. Like I didn't even know this story was going on, but I was like, oh,
that was back in 2018. I still felt bad about it. This video shoot was like a classic example of everything being written in the stars. Like I remember the hotel thing lined up perfectly. We had a spot in Waikiki where we recorded at Rock Island Cafe. R.I.P.
Oh yeah.
R.I.P. It was a great spot, and I emailed them and they were really cool with it. We did like a whole casting call thing for it too. Got the perfect response within less than an hour.
That's awesome.
And normally, like we discussed in the last episode, those things normally take a while. Just trying to find the right person or people. But for this one, we were looking for a couple. These two people, Carla and Makana, who lived in the area, and I think they still do. But they responded to one of my Instagram stories and said that, hey, like me and my boyfriend are down to help. And I showed it to Kainalu and Holo within like an hour, and they were like, yo, we got it already? Yeah, we got it already. And it was just like one of those things where it's like I knew everything was gonna go smooth. And like I found out during the actual shoot when we shot at Rock Island Cafe that Makana, the guy, had like acting lessons when he was a kid or something like that, because I noticed that he was doing really well with it. And most of their takes were done really fast. It was kind of done within like probably an hour max for their specific scenes. And then going back before their filming days, Kainalu and I went to his secret spot. Like there's like that little ledge Kainalu uses to bring his models to.
Oh,
it's by my friend's house, pretty much.
Scott knows what we're talking about. He knows what we're talking about.
And I was like, what secret spot? I was like, which honey girls you bringing over there? I know, bro. I got you.
Yeah, but that was what we filmed there, and like I remember wearing like it was like pretty clean Stan Smiths at the time. And kind of just going through the little walkway thing with holding Nalu's boombox. That was fun. And seeing the fireworks show at the hotel was pretty cool too. So that was like a really fun time. Now that I look back at it, and just everything really lined up for that whole shoot. Before the album came out, I had a whole bunch of Mars Luna performances leading up to the album, and I played actually my first Mars Luna show in Hawaii in November of 2018 for Sofar Sounds Honolulu, and I think that was the first time that Holo and Nalu saw Mars Luna like blooming into kind of who he is now. And kind of just like, that was one of my favorite shows that I've ever played, honestly, because the Sofar Honolulu show was a complete accident. I signed up on the Sofar Honolulu website, a Sofar Sounds website, and I originally signed up for Sofar Las Vegas show. So for context, Sofar Sounds is like a bunch of quote unquote secret shows all across the globe. The venues and everything aren't really revealed until like the day of, or like 24 hours before the actual show. And you can only invite like a certain number of people to to come to the show. And so at the time I invited Holo and Nalu. You know, they were like, heck yeah, let's do this. You know what I'm saying? And prior to that, I don't think they've heard me play since high school. So it was like a real change. But so far, Honolulu was a fun show. Holo or Nalu, what do y'all think about it?
I remember I had to call out from work that day.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But you know, it was actually an eye-opener event for, you know, Luna and for Nalu and I, because it just struck us. I remember before you started playing on the piano, I think it was the piano.
Yeah.
He was like talking to us. He said he was I don't know if it was correct, but I think he was just he was ready, but he was nervous at the time.
Yeah.
And then he got up on stage. He got his piano right in front of him, and then he just snapped his fingers. And the crowd was actually pretty quiet, and he just snapped his fingers, and there he goes. He was on his way.
There you go.
Yeah, I was in the zone after I made that snap. That was before like Mars Luna became like a full character, but he was kind of like on his way to becoming one at that point. So yeah, so far Honolulu was a very fun show. I'm glad that, you know, you, Holo, and Nalu had a great time. It was a fantastic time. And the funny thing is, with So Far Vegas, I got the call to do that a couple months after. So it ended up working out anyway. And with the So Far Vegas show, I was actually at one of my good friends' wedding that afternoon. And that was all the way at the northwest part of town. And I had to drive about a good 25 to 30 minutes downtown during First Friday, which is like a monthly event here. You got to find parking. And fortunately enough for me, I was able to find parking, and Morgan, I played with him. He was able to find parking, and everything worked out the way that it needed to. You know, that was a fun show, but I would say that without any disrespect to the So Far Vegas show, because that was a great show. I enjoyed my time, but So Far Honolulu was special because it was my first Mars Luna performance, and I got all my favorite people there came to support. So like that was fire. And throughout the rest of this era of performances, I played a lot of house shows, and I played a lot of secret shows. Like there was this So Far Sounds inspired show called Game of Tones, which is kind of like the order of performances were kind of selected out of a raffle, and like the audience had the chance to, you know, talk to the artist, removing that barrier of like, you know, like the people in the crowd can't really talk to the artist and stuff like that. It was really, really intimate stuff. Those were the kind of shows that those are shows that I can't wait to get back to, actually. And I'm just playing in bars and coffee shops. And it was clear that during this particular era, Mars Luna, myself, and Morgan were kind of moving up a little bit and kind of getting ourselves familiar with at least the local Vegas scene. And I've gotten to know some really cool people during this time. And those performances were from about, I would say, the middle of 2018 to the springtime in 2019. So just to give a little context and time frame of when this entire period happened. I really wanted to skim through all the other Lost in Space stuff because I really wanted to get to this question. This is mostly what we talk about regularly. And every other conversation usually ends in this discussion. So my questions are, do you believe in soulmates? Do you believe that love is a feeling or a choice? And how do you know that you found the one? Whoever want to go first. I'll just be chilling for now.
Yo, this is a deep question, Josh. Like, that's deep. Like, that ain't surface. That's like 80 feet deep, like Kainalu diving shark's cove deep. That's super deep. I'll go first then, I guess. Yeah, I believe soulmates exist. I think more so, I feel like soulmates are God's right people in your lives. So a soulmate doesn't necessarily have to mean that it's a relationship, but if we're talking about the relationship soulmate,
we're talking about that relationship soulmates.
The relationship soulmate, I do believe exists, but it also takes work, right?
Yeah.
So which brings me to my next thing, where love is a choice. After like, I think usually, and I got this from my therapist. Like I was going to therapy after mom passed, right? And she was talking to me about a whole bunch of stuff. Usually after the 18-month period is when y'all are together. After 18 months is really, that's usually when the bubbliness, the honeymoon phase kind of fades, right? And so this is why I say love is a choice, because biblically speaking, love is patient, love is kind. You know, it's never boastful. And all of those things are choices that you can make. You can choose to be patient. You can choose not to be patient, right?
Yep.
You can choose to be kind. You can choose not to be kind. So for me, the soulmate is the person you're willing to make those choices for, regardless of whether or not you think that, oh, this person was handpicked by God for me, or handpicked in whatever you believe, right? The universe or whatever you believe. But more so, it's the choice of whether or not you're going to put in that work and effort, which is what I think a lot of people, after they get over that year and a half and then things start to go downhill, they stop choosing to be patient. In my case, I stopped choosing to try and in my previous relationship, I stopped choosing to love a new side, you know what I mean, of this person. And for me individually, that kind of set me back. I was going through a lot at the time with what happened with my mom. You know what I mean? She passed away and whatever, but it's not really whatever, but you know what I mean? Going through grief, I wasn't choosing those things. And I really believe love is a choice.
For sure.
And that your soulmate will choose the same thing as you are choosing. Yeah. And I think that's the hardest point, especially for us in our age group and in our time. If you look at our friends group, right? They're either married and having kids, or they're still single.
Yes.
Or they just got out of a relationship.
There's no in between.
Right. And it blows my mind. And it's like, until I feel like we find that right person to make that choice, that same choices, no matter how different we get, no matter how different I get, or no matter how different Kainalu gets. And Kainalu, you different, bro. You different.
I don't know when Kainalu's ever gonna be different, bro. I don't know.
Yeah. What? We're all close here, and all I gotta say is
we're all super tight here, and just making that very clear. But go ahead.
Kainalu, like when you find your Korean, oh my god. Because ladies, he's into Koreans, but he don't discriminate. So let's just put it out there, you know. But like we all, I feel like everyone inside of this Zoom meeting or inside of this podcast feels the same about love, in a sense where it's kind of scary because we're all hopeless romantics in here. You know what I mean? We all would jump and go the distance for whoever we think is deserving. And sometimes we think people who are deserving of it actually won't give it back to us, you know? And I feel like everybody in this room has experienced that at least once or twice. And knowing where we are now,
right?
Like, when it's not so much now that we're scared, but more so we're more aware, and we're all about the lifetime commitment. We're not all about dating around. You mean you have to date around to find the right person sometimes, I feel like, or sometimes the right person will just pop up. You never know. But I really feel like everybody in this room is more than capable of being that husband for that right person, without a doubt. Now, as we are today, high school, no, high school, no, high school. We don't talk about high school. You know what I mean? Like,
we was playing too much.
Big time. You know,
playing too much.
And we're not talking about playing around like cheating on chicks or whatever. Yeah. We're just, you know, we weren't serious about.
We were just we were developing. We weren't sure. We weren't sure of, like, we weren't able to like process our emotions or our thoughts as clearly as we're able to now, because we're older.
Yeah.
And because, like, you know, because it's been like freaking 10 years since good Lord, I don't like thinking about it that way, but yeah, like but a lot changes even within a year. You know, like some of it is like circumstantial, some of it is just like us growing and becoming better versions of ourselves. It's just a really tricky thing, because like I think out of all the four of us, I'm probably the one that's like the least of a hopeless romantic in the group, because I've been the guy that's like, you know, I gotta like meet someone first. I gotta actually know them before I figure out whether I'm attracted to them or not. And like I told Scott, probably like my biggest fear, I don't know if I want to say fear, but like my biggest thing when it comes to like being in actual relationships is actually being vulnerable.
Yeah.
And like,
Yeah.
you know, because normally when people know me, like they know me when I start singing or whatever, right? Like that's usually the first impression that people get of me. And my thing is like, if people start to get to know the real me, and there's a lot of layers to the real me, that's really dark, that I'm afraid that if they get to know the real me, that I'll end up pushing them away. And that's a reality that kind of sucks a little bit, but at the same time, like I know what I can bring from emotional and mental and spiritual standpoint. I know what I can bring to the table in that regard, you know. And I think like, you know, now I'm at a point in my life where it's like if somebody end up choosing me, like, you know, I'm not only the lucky one, but they're the lucky ones too. You know what I mean? Because like
exactly.
So as far as like soulmates go, I guess I'll answer these questions that I wrote. I think soulmates, it's a really tricky definition. It's not like a simple like fairy tale like thing. Do I think there is someone that's right for me? I don't know. Like it's not something that will just whimsically appear out of nowhere. Like it's something that, you know, I would have to figure out by actually getting to know people. And so I would say there's a little bit of a yes, but not in a fantastical sense. Do I believe that love is a feeling or a choice? It's definitely a choice, because love takes work. You got to build that over time. And I've seen it when my parents split. It was one of those things where it's like I've learned a lot about love through failed relationships from people close to me, you know. So it was like, and I knew that like, you know, it was one of those things where it wasn't meant to work anyway, but you know, I'm the byproduct of that relationship. So it's just like, you know, well, y'all have me, you know. But
thank God.
Right. But I mean, it's just like, you know, Father's Day is right around the corner, and I don't want to say I'm resentful towards my dad for what he did, but his absence reminded me of like the type of person that I want to be for like whoever she may be. It does take a lot of work. And like you said, Scott, with the 18-month period, like you start to get to know someone. Their flaws become more on display, and in the sense like they become more vulnerable around you. How do you react to that is up to you, you know. Like, do you choose to love them through their flaws, or do you have a certain perception of them that you end up being captured by or being enamored by? And that's the thing for me, where it's like I have to get to know them first before I know whether I love them. That's just me personally, and that can work both ways. I wouldn't like dive head first, you know. I'm the non-romantic guy that balances everything out. But when it does come to it though, like when I'm committed, like I'll make sure like I'll do whatever it takes to continuously pursue that person, because like, you know, the relationship will be worth it. So how do I know if I found the one? I think in regards to the one, I think like my intuition will let me know if she's the one or not. But as long as like values and like life trajectory are aligned, as alongside with some chemistry type stuff or whatever, you know. But I think it's a very simple answer for right now that I'm not able to describe right away. But I think for me, like I have a pretty good grasp on like people's energies and stuff like that. I'll probably will know. Hello, Nalu, what about y'all? I know Nalu's gonna say like, oh, she gotta be from Korea. You gotta be from Korea. Stat.
I better go first then, because I can't follow Nalu's act. But I'll volunteer to go. But first question, do you believe in soulmates? Yeah, I do believe in soulmates, but I also believe that in your whole lifetime there is you have more than one soulmate, but they come in different seasons during your whole journey through, you know, your whole life. And I believe that these different people, so-called different soulmates, you know, some of them might might be, you know, the perfect match for you, or maybe they are brought into your life to teach you of what's coming up next, or they're here to remind you, you know, what you value, what you want to see in a ideal woman for yourself. So I believe there is different soulmates that would enter your lives, but not necessarily to be on the same journey as you, maybe to like teach you lessons that you need to learn, even some challenges too that we will learn for ourselves.
Yeah.
So when the next time we see somebody, you know, that very intriguing, you know, very tasteful, you want to know what's up, you have these skills that was given to you from the people before that teach you along the way.
Yeah.
And then, do you believe that love is a feeling or a choice? I know my two homeboys with choice, and you know they're pretty flexed about it. But you know, I had to go the narrow route. I had to go with feeling.
And there's no wrong answer, by the way.
Yeah, there is no wrong answer.
There's no wrong answer.
Well, yeah, I just wanted to, I had a feeling to go with feeling, because from the choices that we do make, like what Scott was saying, we have a choice to love, to, you know, progress. We also have a choice to be patient, and for ourselves, that's a choice for us to make. And when we figure out what choice to make, what I think is, once you make that choice, then there's a outline. You know, when you make that choice and then you have yourself to, you know, make the outline. And I think that the feeling that you have, you know, in that interaction kind of outlines the choice that you're gonna make. So if you choose to be patient, then the feeling of, you know, okay, I'm gonna be patient. I'm gonna go work on myself, make sure, you know, I'm good. I have all the skills that I need, know what values that I want in a woman, core values, so I know how to proceed. And when you make that choice, you know, to love, to take care of somebody, to be there, then you have that feeling, okay, your whole mindset changes. You need to, you know, be there for that person. You need to be not necessarily codependent, but to be, you know, that model, that ideal model for yourself. And you know, when you bring that into the world, then great things are going to change. So I think going back to the choices, which is like the subject line, and then beyond that will be the feeling of, you know, how you know transverse your choices. I know, kind of big words, but I'm trying to get my words out there.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good.
But
flex that vocabulary real quick.
yeah, big time.
How do you know if you found the one? You know, to be honest, it's very, very challenging, because there's social media, there is, you know, people in real life, there's all these different things that distracts us, and these distractions kind of clouds what you want or core value in a woman. So to make my point, like, you know, straight to the answer, if you found, how you know you found the one is when you feel comfortable, you feel everything just, you know, seamlessly smooth, everything that you talk about, that you speak to her about, that you want to share, you know, your experiences, how your day went. You know, you don't need to like force anything out there. You can just flow with it. You guys are on the same wavelength. You guys laugh at each other's jokes. You know, it's hard to find somebody, but when you do have that click, that spark, and it's, you know, it's different for other people too. For all of us in here, we have different sparks, you know, that kind of, you know, gets us going, you know, right? Gets our engines, you know, roughing it up there. But yeah, when you find that person, you would know straight then, from all, going back to my first answer, from all that experience that you had, you know, talking to somebody on the plane, or, you know, going on social media or online dating, you know, texting this person, you're trying to feel them out, or, you know, you trying to go on the photo shoot with somebody, and you're like, okay, this person, she's pretty cool. you know, it all dials into that moment, like, okay, is this gonna line up, you know, with all your values? And you would know. It's hard to explain in words, but like how Scott was saying, he was talking about God. God will let you know. He would
Facts.
show your heart to someone because God will know that this person will
Yeah.
Yeah.
trust your heart, and it's, you know, take care of you.
Yeah, I got some bars.
Yeah. Straight bars from Holo.
Yeah.
Shout outs to Holo. No, but
I'm
that's
like,
that's
right
so
now, man.
No,
It's so
I,
true.
I, I like it, but
Wow, it's
Yeah.
like 87 right now, and I'm freaking wearing long sleeves.
He's sweating.
I'm
He's
getting
sweating,
hot.
dude.
the one answer I do
thanks,
want to
bro.
know, I do want to know is Kainalu's answer.
Me
Oh
too.
my
I actually
God.
want to know Kainalu's answer too. This dude has
Okay,
been
I'm
single
very-
as a Pringle
I'm very
since
curious.
forever.
Okay, hopefully the thing doesn't freeze out on me.
Just talk, bro. You're
Yeah,
good.
just
Okay,
talk.
I'll
okay.
pick the audio.
All right, so the first question, do I believe in soulmates? That is a big yes for me in some certain circumstances. For myself, personally, there is somebody out there, I believe. Maybe there's probably more than one, but it's...
Bro, it wouldn't
like
possibly.
how Holo said, you experience people to different... Did it pause again?
It paused on the it, and we're all like, "What's the answer,
Yeah, I was
dude?"
like, what?
Okay.
Okay, but it's what?
Was that?
Okay, so like how I do believe in soulmates, and like how Holo said, there's multiple people that you'll meet to help you build up. That's kind of the same way how I feel too. With that, it's for me, it's trying to find somebody that's kind of almost like me in a way. Well, not crazy like how I'm crazy, but the same kind of qualities and like. So there is that one person that has everything that I'm looking for, but it's not going to happen tomorrow, maybe next week. It's going to happen to me. I believe it's going to happen unexpectedly when I least expect it. And I've always had this feeling where I'm going to be somebody that's not from Hawaii. It's going to be somebody from maybe another country, maybe Korea, maybe Japan, maybe Taiwan, LA, East
maybe.
Coast. It could be somebody else. I have that kind of feeling. Like it's not going to be somebody from here. It's going to be somebody different, somebody new that I haven't met yet. We haven't met each other, and we're going to combine together. It's going to become a whole different new life, a new chapter.
Oh, come on, man. I hate it when it does that because it's good. Like now I get to know him. Like, yeah.
Right, he never
know,
talks
right?
about this. That's why.
Exactly. This is just why I want to
Never talk about it. Never. All right,
Yo,
we're
that
back.
freeze is going in. Just letting you know, Kainalu, because that
It's-
it
What is
froze.
that?
The freeze is coming in real strong, my boy.
Okay.
No, you were talking about like you think that you're not gonna find someone in Hawaii, but you're gonna find someone.
Okay.
Yeah.
So continue on from that. That's still some kind of feeling I always had for quite a while, I believe. Maybe a few years ago or so. I don't know. But I'm not really in a rush to look for somebody. If it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. And maybe it's because I'm doing something that I'm always out. Like maybe I'm taking photos one day. Maybe someone's gonna meet me from there, or surfing, or who knows? Maybe hiking. It could be anything that I always do.
You just never know.
Never know.
Yeah, you never know, bro.
It's just
I like that.
or somebody might walk into my store the next day. Who knows?
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if that actually happens to you, though.
I would be
knowing you, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. And you know this guy would floorboard quick.
Yo,
Whoop, head first.
100.
What Photoshoot? Let's go.
Oh, he's like, he said, let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go.
He's all up in it now.
Yeah.
God, I was like, it only takes me 2 weeks to find out who you are, really? Let's do this. Oh, man. I'm just playing now.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's all good. It's all good.
Dog.
Okay, I guess I can move on to the second question. Second question is love a feeling or choice? For me, I would have to say it's right in between. Only because of my personal experience. How would I explain that? So for feelings, of course, if you've ever known me for a while, you know how hopeless romantically deep in love I can get sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of like drop down pretty much.
Yeah.
But on the choice side, Yeah, it's gonna really depend on how you see yourself with that person that you want to have a relationship with. It's gonna change here and there. It'll go up and down. I've been there, done that. What else could I add to that? When you find somebody that you really like, and it's it's gonna be that person, that's gonna determine how well you're gonna live up to yourself and all the promises and everything else that you made with that other person. And it's also gonna kind of test you to see if you're gonna change who you really are, for if that person wanted you to change for good or better.
Wow, that's good.
Yeah, it's sometimes I guess it depends on who you date, because you can't expect to have the perfect person in your life. There's always gonna be goods and bads, and the only way how you can make yourself a better person in the relationship is just stay true to who you are and try to make your other half or your other significant other happy as much as possible. But then they also would have to play their cards right as well.
Yeah. Two-way street, right?
Two-way street, yeah.
Two-way street. In your case, it's a Korean street.
So you would find the one in Korea then, basically.
Get drunk in a bar in Korea? What?
You don't even drink, boy.
Yeah, I know, right? Awesome. I love it.
That was great. Yeah, I love it. I love all the answers. And I think if I were to add some more stuff to mine, I think one of the things I meant to say earlier, but I didn't process it earlier, was that to me, I had this thought that if you found the one, if you found the person, that you spend your life with, she would have to be a person that you would go through all the seasons of life with. Whether it's good, whether it's great or triumphant, or whether it's like the deepest pits of despair. She gonna have to be with you through all of it, and vice versa, And it's clear that you can tell, to all the listeners out there, these are kind of normal stuff that we talk about all the time, and not just more on a shallow surface level. Yeah. But yeah, I appreciated all the perspectives on this, because it just shows like what everybody's thinking, and it's all complementary towards one another, and y'all had something incredible to say with each turn. So we're just gonna have to see what happens with each of us. But one question: who do you think out of the four of us is gonna find the one first?
It's either me or Holo.
Facts.
Only because maybe Holo's more on the market than I am.
I don't know, man. I'm just observing.
I'm okay. Yeah, we're the same then. We're the same.
We're the same.
I think it's either me or Holo, because Josh, you ain't looking. Kainalu, I can't ever know when you're looking. You're more so you're being patient. Like, I'm not gonna lie, you're being patient, but damn,
but also passive.
Patient with a capital. Yes.
He's patient, but he's also passive.
What's he writing now? He's taking notes right now. He's like, yo.
He's like, this is where I'm going. I want to know, what is love?
What is love? Baby, don't hurt me. Yo.
It's from a song, by the way.
I have a friend I was actually talking to. He kind of thinks in the same way that Nalu does, in the sense of like, he would prefer it if the girl would approach him. And
that's kind of where I'm at too, a little bit.
Yeah, no, you'll make that known all the time.
Yeah, I do.
So, I low-key want to redo the question.
You want to redo the question?
I want to redo the question and the answer. I just thought about what I said about me and Holo, and I was like,
it's fine.
Holo's more on the market. I was like, yo, why did I say that, dude? What the frick, dude? Now we're both on the market. Cricket.
I know that didn't hit me until you said it.
I know, and I was like, oh. I seriously do think it's gonna be either me or Holo, only because like y'all are so patient right now, and like we're patient too, but I think more so, that's just the vibe I get. You know what I mean? That's just the vibe I get. Like, I've never known you or Kainalu to be in a relationship. You know what I mean? Like,
I've never got past the talking stage.
Yeah, right. And that's what I mean. Like, I feel like me and Holo might be the first ones, but you never know. You know what I mean? Like, what it might be our turn to keep being single, and it's now y'all's turn to jump into a relationship.
We'll just never know, you know. Like, I met quite a few new people recently over this year, but you know, it's like one of those things. Like I said, like I got to get to know them first. It's just like, and I think like I'm trying to understand like the type of person I am right now. So it's like, you know, I'm kind of like this I'm probably the most melancholic person out of the four of us in this group. If I'm keeping it if I'm keeping it 100. So it's like me, I would say maybe the ideal person for me might be someone who's more like a ray of sunshine in my life. But that's what y'all are with me. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all are like y'all are super positive and stuff like that, and I'm kind of like, I want to keep it positive, but at the same time, like, I also am aware that this could also happen too. So like I take all sides into consideration. So I would also say either between you Scott or Holo. I would say either between you two, but I would lean more towards Holo.
Yeah, I would lean more towards Holo.
I would lean more towards.
Put him on the spotlight.
Yeah,
because Holo got game low key.
No, I don't.
Holo got game low key.
No,
like,
bro,
he got game low key. Like, he can dance.
Like Nalu. I'm taking notes, man. I'm taking notes.
Everyone's like, no, it's not me. It's not me. The next thing you know, relationship.
See what y'all just heard was Scott playing the piano, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, I do play piano, but not as good as everybody tells me. I can dabble. So Kainalu, my question is Kainalu.
What?
This is my question for you.
Okay.
Is the Korean thing a big major player in the girl you want to spend the rest of your life with?
Ooh.
Like, is that a deal breaker for you?
Ooh.
Like, or that Asian, you know what I mean? Like, I know you into Asian.
Okay,
girls.
okay,
Like,
yeah.
Okay. Like, I'm not saying, and like to any other female listeners out there, you don't discriminate, nothing at all.
No, not at all. Not at all.
But like,
I'm not even into Asians like that. Not as much as y'all, but not as much as y'all is my thing.
I don't know, man.
Well, because I'm in Vegas right now. You're in
Vegas. Yeah. You. Look at it. Seafood City.
Oh, I don't go to Seafood City. Nah, no way.
Hey, now looking for love in Seafood City now. Come on.
I just want to buy my tilapia and go home. So anyway, is that a deal breaker? Kind of like, or more so, is that like a higher preference?
Okay, to answer your question, I believe it would apply more only if I actually do get a chance to go to Korea and I do find somebody there. Then we'll see how that goes from there. But it's basically, I'm not looking for someone that's just Korea. It's because I want to go to Korea like way when I came back from deployment. So there was like the whole thing that I want to go there, and then of course they're all making meme jokes about me finding my love in Korea.
Yeah, that's why that's why I asked that question.
But it's also because I've been learning the language for that time I was away. So it would kind of be really good too, just to kind of help keep with my language learning and everything else that I really want to go to Korea for the right reasons and travel and such. But it's still kind of open game. So anything can happen.
I respect you, bro. I respect it.
For sure. That takes commitment.
Yeah.
It does.
Okay, one more question. Okay.
Okay.
This is for everybody. It's not just for Kainalu.
Okay.
What's the most important trait that you're looking for in your future partner?
Ooh, spicy.
Yeah.
Love it. I should have asked that question too. That's a good one. Yeah. That's a really good one. I
gotta think about this one. Like, me too. Like, there's so many on the list, but you gotta pick one. Like, that's the deal breaker. You know what I mean? Like, what's the number one? Oh, everybody is like caught off guard right now. Like, yo, what is going?
Yeah, I think I know.
Okay.
Yeah, I think. Sorry, can you say the question one more time?
So, what's the most important trait, personality trait that you're looking for in your future partner? That's like a deal breaker. If they don't have this, or if they're not willing to develop this, like, when are you gonna say, okay, like, it was great that our dating experience was great, but I think we should just be friends instead of taking it to the next level?
I'm really thinking of like that, like she has to know for herself how to live her life without me, but also understand that we both need to work together for our future stability.
Right.
So like she will do her own thing, I'll do my own thing, but then we're living our same lives, right? Our own lives. But then we can come together to make sure, okay, this has to be done. I help her with, what she needs help with, and then hopefully it's being reciprocated. She can help me with what I'm going through. And then when we do come together, we're building that path to have a stronger relationship, stronger bond. But then again, go back into our separate, our separate lives, our own cars to say.
Yeah.
Something, yeah.
I get what you're saying, but it's like y'all are both walking the same direction, just not like this. But y'all are,
yeah.
You guys are like together, but you guys are walking towards the same direction, kind of thing, right? Where it's like
that. Oh no, go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead, Josh. You probably
it's like that. It's like that Neo joint. I'm good all by myself, but you make me better.
Make me better. Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Cue that song.
Cue that song. Oh, hold on, let me see what key it's in. I'm doing that. Yo,
but that's what that reminded me of though.
Josh. And then Kainalu, and then I'll answer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me see. Well, that's also a loaded question. I would kind of go along a similar line as Holo, in the sense of like I also value my independence. You know what I mean? But it's like for me, like if it's a personality or character trait, I would probably, for me, I mean, like there's like faith and stuff like that, but those aren't really like personality or character traits. I would probably say, I guess kindness for me. Kindness for me is a big one. I'm fortunate enough to have a mother who exemplifies that kindness regularly, being someone who's kind and someone who's selfless, you know what I mean? And, all the other like chemistry and, connection type stuff too. But yeah, I would go along the kindness and selfless route. And those are like 1A and 1B for me.
Yeah, that's good, bro. So we got Holo with the walking the same path, but you know what I mean? Like you good on your own. You don't need me to be good. We're both good. And then you got Josh with the kindness and the effort between you two. And then now Kainalu. Everybody's waiting for this. You know what I mean? Because you never talk. You never talk about this kind of stuff with us.
No, never.
I only joke about it.
Yeah, you joke about it, which is why we can never tell you're serious. We're like,
what?
Right? Yeah. It's like you talking about.
The question again? The traits.
Like, so what's the deal breaker trait for you that you find in your future partner?
Like if she doesn't embody this, then it's no go.
Yeah, like one of those. Yeah.
For me, I know this is always a big thing. It's one of the big things for me. It's, I guess you can combine, like my hobbies and interests. That could fit into one, right? So,
yeah. I think that's one.
So everything that I like to do, if I find someone that has at least maybe 9 out of 10 of the things I like to do, it's definitely a deal breaker. Even if it's just maybe 5 of things, it's still there. But for me, I think with my interests and stuff that I do in my life, it's gonna be like the best thing to be compatible with somebody that either has interests in what I do or wants to do stuff that I want to do or likes it.
Yeah,
I met people that share similar interests with me. It's, even though we're kind of like different in music taste or different in not going to the beach versus I like to go to the beach. It's just kind of something like that too for me, I guess, because that's kind of how I see a part of the relationship for somebody that I want to be with. Like if they want to kind of stay with me, I would at least like them to kind of enjoy like my lifestyle too as well. That way it kind of makes it kind of fun in a way, especially for what I do.
Right, because nobody else do what you do, bro.
That's true. I don't think
really
anybody
don't know anybody else that does what you do.
I don't think
nobody. At some point, if you do find someone that does,
oh my God.
I mean, there's also going to have to be some compromise too, my boy.
Yeah. I think one of the biggest ones for personal or for stuff I like, they gotta love photography. They gotta love taking pictures. They gotta at least enjoy being my model or enjoy being my model too.
Yeah.
And then travel's another thing. I like to travel a lot.
Yeah.
And even surfing, if I can find a girl that can go surfing with me, even on small days, that'd be the bomb. That'd be perfect.
Bro, you jeez, bro. You go when it's like freaking 8 to 10 feet, and you're like, well, it's not that big.
I mean, like Waikiki surfing, like that.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, I was like, I'll surf with you. I barely can hang with you, and I surf with you the most out of.
Like,
yo, just for the podcast, this guy, where's he at on the screen? Is he above me or is he below me, Josh? Where's he at on the screen?
No, he'll be above you. But
he's above me. This guy drops in on me every wave, and I'm like, oh my God! Every wave, I'm deeper than him, and there's like 80 people, and he just boxed me from the right, like, oh, Scott's going, I'm going. Oh my God, bro!
I love how the deal breaker points for Kainalu were all shallow, superficial stuff. Like she gotta be able to be down for photo shoots. She gotta be down to surf.
Hey, he's being honest.
You gotta be down for it's not a wrong answer. It's just an observation.
Yeah.
She gotta love EDM. She gotta be Korean.
Yo, man, Kainalu, bro. Like,
she gotta be ready for Dawn.
Yeah, Dawn Patrol.
Dawn Patrol.
Oh my, dude. Oh, I'd be so happy if she can wake up at 5 a.m. for me.
Yeah, see,
right now.
That's the thing I love that about you, Kainalu. It's just that, like, if you can do stuff with your other half, you would be like, that's all you need. Like, and that's what I love. It's so simplistic. You know what I mean? Like, that's all I need to love this person is that.
Yep.
Oh, that's crazy, bro.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. That's a really good way to put it. No, because
photography.
Hey,
surf.
when it comes down to the marriage agreement, there's a fine print that says got to be down for free photo shoots for life. And if she's down, that's
free
the
photo shoots. You gotta earn it.
Oh, you gotta earn it.
Even when y'all are married.
Oh, this guy, dang.
Even when y'all are married, bro. Dang.
I love that.
That's wild, really that's wild.
I really love that, dude.
I'm in tears.
So simple, dude. That's good.
I'm in tears. But I loved all of y'all's responses. But what about you, Scotty? I haven't heard from you yet.
It's tough for me. It's like, and I'm guilty of this, of breaking trust in previous relationships. So for me now, knowing that I won't go back to doing the things that I want to do, I would say it's trust. Mostly importantly, above all things, trusting God between us two. Because when the relationship goes a certain way at a certain point where the work is getting tiring, being with each other is tiring. And like, the relation, I'm not necessarily saying that every relationship is going to go through that. Like, who knows? I might just be saying this now, and then my next relationship is like, oh, this is so effortless. What was I even talking about?
Yeah.
But when it gets to that point, it's definitely trusting God, because with him in the middle, it doesn't matter what, because God changes everything, right? He's the game changer. He's more than that. He takes the limits off of your relationship. He's
the foundation.
Oh yeah, everything, right? And so for me, it would definitely be trusting God more than they trust in me. And like, even if later on down the line they realize like, hey, I don't know if this person is, I don't know if Scott's right for me, and they pray about it and they tell me, no, like I really feel like God's telling me that you're not the one, I can't be mad.
Right. Yeah.
I won't be mad because from my same point of view, it's like trust is so key. When you both trust in God, or you guys have something deeper to believe in. Like, I know there's couples out there that don't go to church and all of that stuff. So, but it will be nice though, because God is, Jesus, Lord and Savior, all of that. But what I'm trying to say is that when you have that deep rooted belief in God
and you guys are just walking towards him and just trusting that no matter where life is going to take you, you can trust on God that he's going to help you learn how to love this person where you cannot think like, I don't think I can love her when she does this to me. I don't think I can get used to her digging her nose, or I can't get used to, I can't get used to her screaming or her freaking laugh. You know what I mean? Like those kinds of things, right? Mm-hmm. But when you have trust in God, you can definitely trust that this woman that you prayed about and that you praying together, having that deeper trust, not saying it's going to remove all the problems.
Right.
It's going to help you both solve the problems.
Right.
That you can't solve on your own. So the biggest thing is trust, because you can do anything. We can be pissed off at each other, but I can trust you that you're not going to leave me. Right. And you can trust me that I'm not going to do anything to hurt you, or to think like once the relationship goes at a certain point, like, oh, frick, I'm going to go start talking to someone else. Like you can trust me to know that I'm going to be putting in the work. Like, so trust is the biggest trait for me. Plain and simple.
Right. I think that's a great note to end it on, honestly, because it's like at the core, you know, like no matter what the relationship gonna be, like y'all gonna have to trust each other. Y'all gonna have to communicate. Y'all gonna have to figure it out together, you know. And it's like, you know, this is the person that you're going through every aspect of life with. Everything. And that's
let me hit you with a pad. Keep talking, Josh.
So, you know, like, you know, there's, you know, like once you know you're with someone that it goes back to what I said about like love being a choice, because like, you know, at the end of the day, like you said, Scott, the honeymoon phase and everything gonna fade. That's gonna go away. Yeah. And like when you have someone that you can trust and that you know who's got your back no matter what the situation is, you know, like and with, you know, God being at the center, like trust is essential. I would have put that on my top as well, but
trust is important, man.
Yeah.
Trust.
Trust in each other.
Oh, we're going. Wait. It's altar call right now, baby. Trust. Sorry, that's a fad, bro. It's like
it's all good.
That when it gets that deep, right? Like that's but that's why I love our conversations. They're so real.
Yeah, dog. This is why I was excited to do this particular episode with y'all, because I love hearing you guys' perspectives, and I think this episode is going to be a relatable one for people, especially for those who are looking for love. When that does happen, it's, you know, I have no doubt it's going to be a beautiful journey for all of us whenever we find our ones.
Let's just all not get married at the same time, because it's gonna be kind of hard scheduling everything. So can we like space it out? You know what I mean?
No,
like
we definitely gonna space that joint out. We're definitely gonna make sure. Okay, if one of us finds somebody, okay, I'm not gonna look. You know what I'm saying?
We're gonna make a Google Docs calendar and mark it and be like, yo, during this time of the year, it's Kainalu. During this time of the year, it's Holo. During this time of the year, it's Josh. During this time of the year, it's Scott.
So wait, Josh is playing who's wedding first, and then this first, and then
hey, man, y'all gonna be the groomsmen at my wedding, so you know what I'm saying. It's all gonna be whatever that is.
You know that.
You know,
just letting you know, you're playing at your own wedding, though.
I mean,
hey, as long as I don't play the wrong chord again.
I don't know if I would have you play my wedding, bro. I don't know if I'm gonna have you playing. But anyway, before it gets out of hand, I just want to say thank you to everybody who's listening. As you can tell, with the four of us, we're all very close, and we all goof around and have fun and have deep conversations with each other. These are my people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna close us out with some social media, with some website, music plugs, all that stuff. So you can follow me on Instagram at Luna B Joshua, and you can follow Mars Luna at It's Mars Luna on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and you can find Mars Luna's music on Spotify and Apple Music, Tidal, whatever you listen to, and check out The Villain 2. It's fire. It's one of my favorite songs that I've ever written. So
it is. It really is.
Yeah. Floor is open to whoever's next.
Holo?
You can check out my website. It's Holokahiki Toves.co. Come and visit.
You got fire photos and got fire journal entries and everything. He's Mr. Too Cool for social media. So yeah, check out his website. And book him for photo shoots and stuff.
Looking for photo shoots, man. I guess I'll go next, and then we'll save the best for last. Huh?
Right.
Mr. The most Insta popular out of all of us, right?
Right. Yeah.
You can follow me at Music by Perseverance, which is my music IG. I do lo-fi beats so right now, but I love playing worship, playing live music. Anything I do musically, I post. And so come check it out. This is what it looks like.
Hey, there we go.
There you go. And then if y'all want to hit up my personal and see my shenanigans with airplanes and whatever I'm doing, because I work as an aircraft mechanic, follow me at Scott Yago. That's my name right there. And I just post beach stuff. Usually it's with Kainalu, music stuff with Josh. And this is like the more random IG. So whatever you pick, just follow me. Talk to me. I'm cool. Nalu. Frozen.
Right.
Oh my God. Okay.
You're good now.
Okay, I can go now?
Yeah, you can go, bro.
Okay.
Your social.
So if you want to follow my photography, you gotta write. Oh, where is it? Bro, right there you go.
There we go.
I'll do my photography on Instagram. And then if you want to follow my Twitter, I got it too. It's Hawaiian Opa.
Hawaiian OPPA.
Yeah.
He just
but it's
he posts
more
a bunch of Korean stuff on there. Yeah. But yeah, I appreciate you all tuning in. Thank you so much for tuning in with us. We hope you appreciated the conversation and us just goofing around. And check out The Villain 2 and Lost in Space. And that's all I got to say. So I'll see y'all on next month's episode where we talk about the next portion of Lost in Space. So have a great rest of your day or night wherever you are.
Yo, peace out. Thanks, Josh.
Hope you all enjoyed this episode of the ML Backstage podcast. It was an absolute blast having Scott in this episode, don't you think, Ethan?
Yes, but don't you take the credit for him being on the show. You didn't even know until pre-production.
Well, it's your fault and Joshua's fault for not telling me. I also want to apologize for Joshua's ineptitude. He forgot to break down my song Nothing But Trouble in this episode. I'll remind him for the next one. If you like what you heard, follow us on Spotify and Anchor, and subscribe to us on Apple and YouTube at ML Backstage. The album that the four amigos talked about in this episode is Lost in Space by me, Mars Luna. You can peep that record on Spotify and Apple, and you can check out the Good Girl music video on YouTube. Anyway, you can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at It's Mars Luna. You can find all my music on Spotify and Apple Music and on my website at itsmarsluna.com. Thank you all for watching and listening. Stay tuned for next month's episode as they continue to recap my album Lost in Space.